a good ball played in for Tony Morley. Oh, he missed it! It is! Peter Ward! Villa in the lead!
Hello, good afternoon, Aston Villa fans and everyone. Welcome to the Villa Forever podcast. I am your host, Chad Williams. Please subscribe. Help me to the road to 2K. Make sure to smash the like button on this video. Follow me on all socials. Let's spread awareness about Duchenne muscular dystrophy. On today's very special and exclusive interview episode, I am joined by my special guest, Laura Woods, who is a sports presenter. She works for TNT Sports, ITV Sports, and Amazon Prime Video, and previously she worked for Sky Sports. She was a presenter for TalkSport, and Laura Woods won Presenter of the Year in 2023. But as well as football, she has presented other sports, including darts and boxing, on DAZN, and the Women's World Cup. I think, in my opinion, I think Laura Woods is up there with some of the best sports presenters. And I've been a massive fan of Laura for many years. I've been very excited for this moment. It's a very proud moment for me.
Oh.
It's a pleasure to have on the show, Laura. How are you?
Oh, Chad, you're going to make me cry. That was such a nice intro. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Gosh, yeah, that was really lovely. I'm really pleased to be here.
Yeah, I've been really excited for this interview.
Have you?
We're not organising. But I really appreciate you giving me the time.
Oh, honestly, I'm really happy to. I don't do many podcasts anymore, actually. I've got to be honest. Probably just because I got the baby. And it gets busy, doesn't it? My goodness. But no, like I said, I'm really happy to be here with you.
So we'll get into the interview then.
Yes.
First. So what made you want to be a sports presenter? And how did your presenting career start?
So I think like I'm the youngest of 3 kids, and my 2 big brothers, they're like proper bolshy boys. And I think when you're the youngest, you just have this kind of way about you where you will scream and shout and do whatever you can to kind of like be heard. And there was something, I wasn't a very good actress or anything like that, but there was something that I think drew me to just like communication. I used to really like writing when I was younger. And then me and my cousin Danny, we would do shows for the family and stuff like that with singing. And Chad, I'm like not a singer by any stretch of the imagination. I never will. I never will be. And but it was something about, you know what it was? It was like entertaining and making people laugh. I really enjoyed that side of things. And I remember watching Newsround when I was younger, and there was this thing called I don't know if you ever watched it, but you could be a press packer. You could like kind of apply and be a press packer. But I applied and I never managed to do it. But I don't know, it just stuck in the back of my mind for quite a long time. And then I went to uni and did journalism, print journalism.
You graduated, didn't you?
Yeah, graduated in journalism. And that was at Kingston University. And then I got some work experience at Sky Sports. And I just felt like it tied everything together that I wanted in life as a job. And it wasn't the work experience. You know, when you go into telly, you're a runner essentially, and you're making teas and coffees. You're a junior, and I loved it. There was nothing, weirdly, there was nothing about that job, even though it's like bottom of the pile. There was nothing about that job I didn't love. I think it was like when you go into like studios, like TV studios, it is just incredible. And if you've never seen it before, you're like, wow. And
Funny,
it was,
we don't realise is, Laura, that
yeah,
a lot of work goes into it behind the scenes.
yeah. You got no idea until you see it. And I think 'cause there's loads of different avenues you can go down. Like you can be a producer, and I did train to be a producer, and I got there, and I was a producer for a little bit, but it didn't really give me the buzz that I wanted. And
Yep.
I was terrified of presenting. I did a screen test once for Sky Sports News, and it was abysmal. I've only really just got used to like reading things out loud really when I started working at Talksport, because I was quite bad at that as well. So I just kind of thought all of the things that I'm supposed to be able to do, I couldn't do. So it seemed to really way off. And then I didn't want to give it up. I didn't want to give the dream up, because I just, there was something about it, you know, it's like an itch that you haven't managed to scratch yet. So I started doing stuff on YouTube, funnily enough. I did a little dart show on YouTube, and then eventually that became just really good practice. And then I honestly, when I tell you I took any job inside of Sky, outside of Sky, paid, unpaid, I just wanted to get like the mileage, as I used to
The way
call it.
Laura, you sort of you worked your way up the ranks.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm pleased I did it that way, because it makes you a much more I think it gives you invaluable experience as a presenter, because the thing is, like, when you present, it looks like you know the job. By the way, I'm sorry, can I just say my dog just farted? She said, and for a minute there, she was the other side of the sofa, and I can smell her, and I was like,
Oh, it's hilarious.
So if anyone's watching and heard that, I swear it wasn't me. Her name's Lulu, and she's got no manners. Sorry. Anyway, so I've lost my way completely. Yeah, I started doing those YouTube videos. I got the hours in. I started learning to present. That was it, to produce. And I'm pleased, because you need to know what goes into a TV show in order to appreciate everybody's jobs. You need to know what stresses everybody is under, so that when you think you're stressed, you're not being unreasonable and demanding certain things, because everybody else has a job to do at the same time. And you learn so much more about TV when you start behind the scenes. Yeah.
And Laura, as well, what like about you as well? You've got very good enthusiasm. You're very passionate. And I really like your work ethic.
Thank you. I love it. And I think you have to love it, because if you don't, there are parts of our job that are a real slog, like the travel, sometimes the research, when you're doing a lot of work back to back, and when you're switching codes and you're doing boxing, darts, then football, and there are times of the year. My Christmas used to be really, really busy, because it would be a bit of all of those things, and then also talk would be in the middle of it. And I was very guilty of overworking myself, but I loved it. And if you don't love it, all the research that goes into stuff, that feels really, really heavy. And to be honest, like, sometimes it is boring and it is heavy, and you're kind of like, oh God. But then the passion of it and the love for it is what actually kind of drives you forward.
Yeah, I think you're very passionate. You're very passionate.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I really do. Like, I remember when I was learning the trade, and honestly, like, you'll find this. Did you find at the beginning, when you started doing this, you make hundreds of mistakes, and you'd feel like
me too. Yeah, I sort of
right?
got like the more I do it, I got more confidence.
Yeah, it is. So, earlier on when I was saying about mileage, it is genuinely, the more confident you get, you can only get to that level with literally doing more of it, and also making mistakes. And I remember thinking I had to reframe things, so that when I made a mistake, instead of beating myself up, which, to be honest, I still do now, like, I'll think about it for a very long time. But I also think, I'm glad I made that mistake, because it will stop me from making it again sometimes. But it does. It's the only way you can learn, isn't it?
And the news also, you was a kid show. Game Changers.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Do you know what? That was like my first hybrid job where half of it was producing and half of it was reporting.
Yep.
And oh my God, those days were long. They were very, very long. Like I love kids, but working with kids is really tough sometimes. And I remember they used to send me to do these ridiculous interviews, which were really funny. Not interviews, sorry, like I'd have to go
Yeah.
and try things out. So like I remember once going speed skating and I had to wear this like all-in-one lycra outfit with
Yeah.
roller skates and a helmet on, and I've never felt more uncool in my life. And then obviously I had to skate, and I don't know why, I was like Bambi. I was like a deer on ice. It was just very, very difficult.
And you presented American football. Was
Yeah,
it the NFL?
yeah, I loved it.
And also, was it Euro 2016?
Yeah, so we went to Euro 2016 in France, and that was when I was at Sky, and we didn't have the Euros, obviously, like ITV and BBC had it. And I remember pitching this idea to my bosses, and I was like, look, can we take a van around France and can we just go and film the fans' perspective? Because I was doing this show called Soccer AM Online at the time. And basically Sky had like started a YouTube channel and called it Soccer AM, and we were just trying out different things really and figuring out how to grow our subscribers. And we were like, look, what's everyone doing in the summer? Like, we don't just want to not go and do anything and not work. So we pitched this idea and Sky went for it, and honestly it was the best month of my life.
It was a great experience, but it was great.
It was so fun, but we didn't quite, like in my head, I was thinking VW camper van, like it'd be great fun. And we got sponsored, and I don't want to say the sponsor because I don't want to be ungrateful, but we got these vans, and they were like Postman Pat vans, and they didn't have any windows in the back. And sometimes the trip was like 8 hours from the north of France to the south of France. And honestly, we were like, this wasn't what we were envisaging, but it was still so great. It was really fun.
Good is, I think in France, because I'm Paris, all over that country, do you really get into the atmosphere with the fans?
Yeah, honestly, it was great. I remember the Belgian fans being incredible because all they wanted to do was sing and dance. The Irish fans, because Northern and Ireland were there. So you'd go, one game would be the Northern Irish fans, one game would be Ireland. And it was brilliant. Like, it was so good. And Wales went the distance, didn't they? They went into the quarterfinals, I think they were. So it was just a really good tournament. Obviously not for England. Like that was a nightmare for us.
Losing to Iceland, yeah.
We lost to Iceland. You remember? It was just, it was a nightmare. And we kind of thought at that point, we were like, should we go home? But then we wanted to see it out because we were kind of thinking like, look, there's going to be people in England. And we didn't just have English viewers on YouTube as well. We had like kind of more worldwide ones as well. So we just wanted to do it for like, to see the tournament out. And I'm glad we did, actually. It was mental. We watched the final in the smallest pub in France. And it was boiling hot. We probably could have found a better place. We didn't get to the fan park early enough, basically, so we couldn't get in because it was closed. So we just went and watched it in this pub. And obviously that was when Ronaldo got injured, came off and started basically coaching. Do you remember? And the moth that landed on his face. It was a wild month. I loved it.
And so when you was younger, did you play any sports?
Yeah, I played a lot, actually. This will probably surprise you, but I played rugby. So, yeah, like my mum. So my mum was a single mum with 3 kids, and we are all very close in age. So like, she wanted something to kind of get us together. Like, I used to do gymnastics, netball, hockey. Like, I did all of those things through school, but my mum actually didn't have a lot of money to like take us to different places, to different clubs. So I always remember her sitting me down and saying, we don't have enough money to pay for the petrol to take you to gymnastics and the boys to rugby. So do you want to join the rugby club? And I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'd love to. And honestly, I loved it. And there were only about 2 girls in the rugby club. My mum became a coach. She also became a referee. And me and the boys, like, we
Yeah.
love. We just used to get stuck in all the time, and it was our community. It literally became our community. So that was really like the kind of foundation, I think,
So
of
from an early age, you've always been involved in sports.
yeah, always. I think it's just naturally, like both sides of my family. Like my dad's a massive, like he was a cricketer, like not a professional cricketer. He'll tell you he was a semi-professional cricketer, but like they all love sport. So it was quite natural for our family. Like we all kind of just followed in those footsteps.
Yeah. Because you can think, you have to start young, I think. Because it's passed down from family generations.
Yeah.
And so that's what I can understand that.
Mhm.
Years later, it's meant to be for you being a presenter.
Yeah, there's something. Do you know what it is? Like, there's just this thing where when I started working in sport, I just didn't get that buzz in any other. I mean, obviously, when I was at uni, I used to have loads of bar jobs and things like that, and I went and did work experience in a newspaper, and I was kind of like, and like I'd done my whole degree in print journalism, and I did the work experience, and I thought, oh my god, I don't want to do this. I'm bored. so there was just, I think I was really lucky that I stumbled on the thing that I really loved, having not done it yet. It's really hard to get that kind of experience when you're younger. And then when I got it, I was like, oh God, like I get to watch sport, but I also get to live it, and I get to talk about it. And there's nothing else really that replicates the excitement of live TV and live sport.
I bet you got an amazing job. I bet it's amazing for you.
Oh, thank you. It's like I'm not bored of it yet. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's some jobs where you think, probably one day I want to move on, but yeah, I love it.
So why do you support Arsenal? And including growing up, was your family interested in sport?
Yeah, so my granddad, Ernie, who was my favorite person in the world, he used to live in Highbury, and he would sneak in. Like, this is unfathomable to me that you could sneak into a football ground of the level of Arsenal and Highbury, the old ground. But he used to be able to sneak in and go and watch them. Yeah, so my mum's side are diehard Arsenal. My dad's side are all Geordies. And my dad is absolutely devastated that not one of his kids supports Newcastle. But he's got a little girl now, my half sister Hannah, and she supports Newcastle. So I think he's got one on the side, one of his four.
Because you live in Newcastle.
I know, and that's nothing to do with my dad. Weirdly, like it's just come full circle, and it made him very proud that I ended up becoming a Geordie. But I'll always be Arsenal. Like I'll always support. And we have this problem with Leo, my little boy. We're like, in my head, I'm like, this is a real issue. Who's he going to support? In Adam's head, it's not an issue because there's no way he's going to support Arsenal. But we'll see.
So you're from? Is it Dagenham?
Do you know what? That's on my passport for some reason. My mum always says, and I'm like, Mum, you were the one. You and Dad were the ones that put Dagenham on. I'm actually Rush Green, which is in Romford. So do you know where West Ham train?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, West Ham's training ground. My hospital that I was born in used to be like there, and it's been knocked down since. Not because of me, but I'm actually Romford. So Romford, Dagenham, they're not too far from each other. But yeah, I'm an Essex girl, really.
But it must be interesting, like when you're covering Arsenal, yes, obviously because of your job, you got to be neutral, haven't you?
Yeah. You know what? People ask me this all the time, and I wish, and people don't believe me when I say this, but like when you're watching a game and you're presenting, your first thought isn't all, of course, like you want your team to win, but your first thought when you're presenting is, oh my God, don't make a mistake. Just don't make a mistake, and try and remember everything that's happening. And there's so many plates that you got to spin when you're presenting, and you have a lot going on in your ear that really, just nearly dropped my phone, that really you don't have time to be biased. Talksport was different because it was funny, and
Yes.
they want you to have an opinion, and they want you to have a strong opinion,
Yeah.
and you can have a bit of a laugh with the fans that call in and stuff like that. So Talksport was different. But when you're on telly, honestly, the pressure of just not making a mistake and doing your job to the best of your ability, that overtakes any kind of biases that
And
you
since
have.
you mean your own team.
Yeah, I know. Even when it's your own team.
So, and still at your first interview, so can you remember how it felt when you did your first interview?
So when you sent me these questions, right, I was like, who was my first interview in football? And I don't actually remember. But in sport in general, my first interview was Simon Whitlock in darts.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a reporter, I was a runner. And we used to do the World Championships of Darts. It's like my favorite tournament, hands down. And when I worked on that one for the first time, it was 2009. So it would have been the 2010 World Championships. And Simon Whitlock went all the way to the final and lost to Phil Taylor. And it was his debut year, come over from the BDO.
Oh, yeah.
And we used to do these interviews, and we call them quotes. And all they were, you know, when you watch a match, before the match,
Yeah.
you'll get the two players talking to each other, talking about each other. And you don't see an interview or anything like that. You just hear what they say. That's why we just call them quotes. And I was like, let me do them. And nobody really wanted to do them. They were quite boring. You know, you'd ask the same questions over and over again.
Yeah.
But I loved it because I was like, oh my God, I want to be a reporter, so I'll get practice. And, you know, maybe this might be my entry into sports presenting, sports reporting. And it wasn't for years and years and years, but it did get me experience. And I remember interviewing Simon Whitlock and thinking, wow, he's a bit different, isn't he?
Was you nervous?
Yeah, I definitely was. And some of them were scarier than others. I used to be terrified of Mervyn King. And also, you got to think, like, the last thing these darts players wanted to do was go and do an interview just before, on the day that they're playing in the biggest tournament in the calendar year, especially as it got later onto the tournament. But like, Simon Whitlock was just great. He was so nice and quirky. And then I felt like, I was like, oh my God, he's my favorite darts player now, and he made it all the way to the final. So I was like, look at this. It was just great. And I'll always remember that. Like, it was like an entry level into reporting for me. But I can't remember the first footballer. I really can't, or manager.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be somewhere. Like, it will be somewhere in the. Do you know
Was
what?
it a big name?
It would. Do you know what it would have been? I'm willing to put money on it being someone like Anthony Knockaert. Do you remember Knockaert?
Yeah. He's a good winger, yeah. Remember in Brighton?
Yeah, I think it might have been when he was at Brighton. And also Bruno. I think I might have interviewed two that day, maybe. Was it Bruno as well? Oh God, I can't remember. It would have been. It was someone like that. If it wasn't Knockaert was one of my earliest. I think
your first interview.
Yeah, they were like.
I bet you learned a lot.
Yeah, and also they came thick and fast. So like when I started working on football, we just kept doing more of them. So like we'd be doing like 2 in a week or something. So you became really good at it. And I'd done like in between, I'd done a lot of reporting in other sports and stuff like that. But football's different, isn't it? Football's king, and there's like a level when you reach football. For me, that was like the pinnacle.
The more interviews that I've been doing, they've sort of got bigger eyes because I'm interviewing. Don't you know Brad Friedel?
Yeah.
I interviewed him last week and the week before. The looks at Ian Tyler, so I've come a long way, so my interviews are a bit more now.
Do you get nervous?
Just a little bit, but I've got better now. I'm sort of alright now because I sort of know what I'm talking about.
Don't you think it's muscle memory, isn't it? You just suddenly go,
yeah, that's the word, yeah.
Yeah. And also you kind of, you just get more relaxed every time you do it, and it doesn't feel as much of a big deal.
I remember the first one that I did. It was really basic to what I do now.
Yeah. Do you ever watch them back?
Yes, sometimes, yes.
Sometimes I'll catch an old interview and I'll be like, oh, that's embarrassing.
So let's talk about women's football.
Yes.
So since you started your career, the popularity of women's football growing every year. So
Yeah.
what more needs to be done? And do you think women have now been fully accepted into a majority male-dominated sport?
Do you know, I think like my sort of opinion on women's football is I don't like to force it too much, because I kind of just think like there's a strange narrative with women's football, right? That it's being shoved down people's throats, and I
Yeah.
don't think it is. I just think it's available to watch, and if you want to watch it, great. And if you don't,
Yeah.
you can go and watch something else, the same as any other men's sport, you know, the same as golf, like whatever you want to go and watch. Like there's stuff that I don't really love. Like I don't love F1, if I'm honest. And therefore I just won't watch it. But I won't turn around and go, oh my God, not another flipping, you know, F1 race and this and that. And like, there's so much Formula One. I just don't really care that much. And I think
Yep.
it's weird, isn't it? And also there's not really another women's sport where it's quite divided either. And I think maybe it's because football in general is tribal. Like there's no other sport like football. It's so tribal, and actually that's what we love about it. And I think sometimes like when women's football gets kind of thrown in the mix, it's just a little bit different to what people were used to, so it can rub people up the wrong way. But for me, like I feel like it's grown so much organically. Like when I started working on it with ITV, it was about 4 years ago, and we would do these games, right? And I remember we were at St Mary, and Chad, there was like the smallest stand was full, and the others weren't.
It's coming a long way, really. It's coming a long way, I think. We
would have to like aim the camera so that the full stand was behind us, so that it didn't look empty. And that was only 4 years ago. And now, like, it helps that they went and won the first Euros they did, and then the next one, obviously.
And then obviously the Euros, yeah.
Yeah, the Euros did so much good for women's football. But again, like I'm not kind of like, I don't know that anything needs to be done in terms of like, you can't make people watch, right? But if the theory is more people will watch if the standard grows, which by the way, just look at goalkeepers in the last 4 years, the standard is that's a really good. I think
yes.
Yeah. The more you invest in a sport, the better the facilities, by investment is what I mean. The better players you can attract, that kind of thing. The standard is naturally always going to go up. But I think it's so important. Like I don't like comparing the women's game to the men's game. I don't like it when we do, and we did used to do that. I remember one of my first, we did like the all-time England goal scorers, and I don't think it's helpful, because I think the women's game, yes, if you look at England and America and Spain, they are like, and Germany, there are levels to the women's game, right? And these countries are so far ahead. And we were playing teams like North Macedonia and beating them 20-0 and stuff like that. So I just don't think it's healthy to kind of pit the men's game against the women's game, because they're different games. They're at different levels. Women couldn't play football for 50 years. How can you compare? So I think you've got to take them in their own right and enjoy it for its own product.
Just one, for example, so like women and men, they couldn't play together.
Yeah,
exactly. You put them in the field together, you'd be like, with it, really.
You can't, and like you're never gonna go. Like I got all the hype in the summer. It was making me laugh about Chloe Kelly, and and they were doing the speed of her penalties and things like that, and comparing it to the man's game, and I just didn't like it. Like, enjoy it for what it is. Like, she's a brilliant player. That was a brilliant penalty, and I think sometimes people aren't doing it to set women up to fail. They're doing it to say, bloody hell, like, look how strong she is, look how fast that ball went, look how hard she hit it. Look at the men's game. This is a comparison. I don't think it is taken like that a lot of the time. I think people take it the wrong way because they want to take it the wrong way. But you're right. You're never going to have a team where women and men are built differently. You're never going to have a team of mixed players unless, for example, you have a mixed competition deliberately. It's never going to be that women are going to get to such a level that they can now start playing in a men's team. It just wouldn't work.
Because the exposure in the media has really helped women's football. It's always televised on TV, which is good to see.
Yeah.
On TV, and also the attendances, because the average attendances in stadiums are increasing as well.
Yeah, massively. And look, I always think with ITV, for example, I can only speak for ITV, that they are a channel that is aided by advertisers, right? They're a company that needs to make money, so they're not going to put on a product unless people aren't watching, and advertisers aren't going to buy advertising space unless there's eyes on it, and ITV can say, here's what we expect to get from this, and here's what we got for the last tournament. They're not a charity, so that's why when you turn on ITV, they want to make it a brilliant product, so they get the people that they want around the show. They're pundits. I think ITV have got the best pundits in the game. I really do.
It's nice to the young girls. It's nice that they can aspire to be footballers. Like, when they've got equal opportunities, so when they grow up, they want to be a footballer.
Yeah, my nieces and nephews, one nephew, two nieces, when we were doing the Euros, in fact, it was the World Cup before that as well, a couple of years ago, they were sending me pictures watching it. It was nieces and nephew. It wasn't just the girls. So, like, sport is sport, isn't it? Like, if you really like sport, sometimes I can turn on the telly and I will just watch something completely mental. In the Olympics, that I've never seen that sport before, and I'm like, what on earth? But I'm watching it and I'm loving it, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm all of a sudden I'm in the mood for like speed climbing and stuff. I think sometimes if you love sport, you just love it whatever you're watching. So you don't have to go, oh my god, I'm not going to watch it because it's a girl. It's just, it's a bit weird.
Well, you and your team did an excellent job covering the Euros.
Oh, I loved it.
I enjoyed every minute of that tournament.
Oh, thank you. It was so fun, but it was so unexpected as well, wasn't it? Like, we were like, we as ITV, like, we do the first part in England, and then we do the second part over in Switzerland, and we were sitting there going, oh my god, like, are we going to be all right by the time we get over there? Are England still going to be in the competition? And then they just kept finding ways of winning, and it was so great. The best feeling, I think, was after the semi-final. Like, that was just an incredible feeling, and the final was amazing.
Another thing. They showed that their resilience. And character. You've been Serena Deignan. You completely transformed the England team. It's an incredible story, really.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like, when you work with the pundits, we talk on camera and we talk off camera, and everybody is an armchair manager, and everybody says what they think the team should be and what she should be doing. And at the end of the day, like, she just shuts everyone up time and time again, because you don't go out. She's won 2 with England, 1 or 2 with Sweden, and you're kind of like, well, what do you sorry, with Holland, what do you expect? Like, she's obviously a serious winner, so she knows what she's doing.
The penalty shootouts.
Yeah.
There's a drama, that was. I mean, that was on the edge of your seat, that was.
It was so good. And like, as a presenter, when you do penalty shootouts, I don't know if other presenters do this, but I write like a table on my iPad, and then I'll have like I'll have who's stepping up for the penalty, whether they scored it, whether they missed it, how they missed it, if it was saved, if they went over, if they went wide. And then obviously like just to keep count and make sure that I'm like on top of everything. So like whenever I'm watching it, I can't get too absorbed in it because I don't want to miss anything. So you've got two hats on. One of your hats is like, yes, it's England in the final, and the other hat is, but I've got to get this right because at any moment when this is over, I've got to say something and I've got to talk and I've got to ask the right questions and have all the right information. So it's like you're never fully absorbed in the game.
Let's talk about pitch side reporting. So what was it like doing pitch side reporting with Gary Neville?
Oh, Gary is one of my favorites and always will be. He was so patient when I was young and I was coming through and I started working on football.
Yep.
He was so patient. And I think what you don't know with a lot of these pundits is behind the scenes, especially like as much as we want to be like, oh, everything's equal in the world between men and women. It's not always, because you do get a bit of a harder ride when you're a woman. You do get like a lot more criticism if you make a mistake, and the spotlight is on you a lot more to not make mistakes. And there are a lot of pundits who behind the scenes will give you their time, and they are really generous with their time and with their help. And also just like sometimes you just need the backing of people. You just need a Gary Neville or a Roy Keane or, you know, an Ian Wright to back you. And you
What
get
it is, they say it as it is. They say it what it is, and also with Gary Neville, what I like about him is he reads the game differently because he played for Man United. So he can analyse really well the game.
Yeah, and people forget how many times did he win the league? Is it 8 times?
Quite a few titles, that's it, yeah.
It's insane. His level of achievement in the game is ridiculous. There's not many.
The game differently.
Yeah, and he's very Gary's a really intelligent guy, like just in general, not just in football, just in general. And I think with pundits, what makes you a good pundit is obviously being able to read the game, play the game, all that kind of stuff to a high level. But your communication is as important, I think. If you can read the game and you've played it, but you can't explain it to people and you can't teach the viewer anything, then you're not a great pundit. Your communication is so important. And also like you just want people to watch and be interested in what you're saying, not just the content of it. You're actually like how you're delivering it, and I think he ticks all those boxes.
You can always enjoy Monday Night Football. I love that program.
Yeah, because it's so in depth, isn't it? And you're probably feeling like you're more of like you're getting more of the analysis that an actual player would be getting in.
You know, they use what's it called? They use that tactical board, don't they?
Yeah, and more people are doing that now. But I think there's more of a hunger. Like a football audience is hungry for deep analysis sometimes. But you know, there's different audiences for different channels. So with ITV, you wouldn't get that kind of in-depth analysis all the time because ITV is a family channel and it's terrestrial. So like when we're doing the World Cup, for example, our MO is a little bit different. Our MO is like, remember, there's people watching that actually only ever watch football when England are playing, because you're getting 30 million views times for the World Cup. But if it's like a different audience where you're paying to watch it, your needs and your what's the word I'm trying to go for? Your expectation of how football's covered might be a little bit different. And that's why I think a show like Monday Night Football, and I know the producer of that as well, and they work really bloody hard to. And
they definitely do.
Yeah, I do. They definitely do. Yeah.
You're talking a little bit about TalkSport. So how would you sum up your time at TalkSport?
Honestly, just the best. The best fun I think I've had in my career is at TalkSport. It was the best career move I think I ever made. joining them. Just like, I don't think I ever had a bad day. I just,
Yeah.
I've got a genuine love for that company and for those people that I worked with, all the producers as well. Like, it was wonderful. I think one day, to complete my career, I need to go back to TalkSport. Do you know what I mean? Like,
What is more haunting, TalkSport? You seem to have a nice connection with TalkSport.
I just loved it. TalkSport was like the best place to. TalkSport allowed me to have a personality, and I think what it did for me in my career was like it let people get to know me, and that's, as a presenter, sometimes you are really confined by your job. Like, presenting is great, but you only have a few minutes in each part on TV. Your opinion doesn't matter really.
Yep.
But TV was, TalkSport is a fan
Yes.
show. It's about talking to fans, and you're one of those fans as well. You know, you're that fan, and there was just something really special about it. And when you get to work with Ali McCoy, you know, like, we come in, and even if you're in a bad mood, you're not in a bad mood anymore.
Yeah.
You go on air, and like, I can't describe the feeling that I used to get on radio.
Just those.
It was really like, it was so uplifting, and the texts would come pouring in, and you'd really feel like you were talking to a lot of people, and you feel like you're really connected with a lot of people. And I've never had in my career so many messages from people talking about mental health than I did when I was on TalkSport, because you're keeping people company, and that really meant a lot to me.
Did you work a lot with Gabby O'Donoghue?
Yeah, I did. Oh, I loved him. What a guy. You know, like, Gabby and Jamie are so good at winding people up, but they are also just, they're such nice people.
It's hard to wear like the banter, like, because you can do both as well as being serious. I mean, it's good to be on a bit of humour as well.
Yeah, you have to. You can't take yourself too seriously, and like, Gabby doesn't. He is so. Do you know how many times, like, me and Gabby would do a show together or not together, and I would call him and be like, oh Jesus, like, I've said something and it's pissed a lot of people off, and like, I feel really shit about it now, and I'd go for a walk with the dog, and I'd call him up, and he would basically talk some sense into me and be like, look, these things don't matter, and you're really good at your job. And he was just such a good friend, Gabs. Like, he's a genuinely really good person, like a really nice person. Like, that's why I miss it so much. It's not just talking to, like, it's also working with those kind of people. They're just so fun.
And when you left, you was very emotional.
I know, I wasn't I? I think I was shattered. I left because it was so difficult on my body. Like, I just found sleep deprivation. It's like, it's just a form of torture, isn't it? And
it's the most important thing, sleep.
Oh yeah, and I wasn't getting it, and I had so many jobs all at the same time, and they never started at the same time. You know, TalkSport, you'd be up at 3:30 in the morning. Boxing, you wouldn't be on air till about 7 o'clock at night, and then you wouldn't finish until gone midnight. And you're traveling up and down the country. Sometimes you'd be doing afternoon games as well in football, and it all was a bit too much. But like, for my personal life, like, I just didn't feel like I had the chance to meet anyone. You know, I barely saw my friends because I was always tired or always working. My relationships would really suffer because I would always put work first, and then I just took the decision upon myself to, like, just put an end to something. I had to change something, and I don't regret that decision at all. I just miss them. Like, I had to make that decision, but I miss them a lot.
So what's it like fitting in family life with your job?
So I can't lie. I think I've hit the sweet spot at the moment, because as soon as I left TalkSport, it was mad actually, and how these things happen. But I left TalkSport and I met Adam. Like, we'd known each other for about a year, but we'd never met each other properly, and we met each other, and obviously we fell in love. The rest is history. We had Leo,
Yeah.
and when I went back to work after having Leo, like it was hard, but I'm not working a 9 to 5. I'm working 2 Champions League games probably every other week. It averages out, maybe even less. I'm doing a Lionesses game here or there. I'm doing the FA Cup here and there, and really, like, I would never have been able to fit TalkSport around having a baby at all, especially not. So now I'm managing it. I still do find it
How
hard.
old is your baby?
He's 9 months.
Oh well, that's
Yeah.
going quick, that.
I know, maybe 9.5. And he's so wonderful. And now I think it's different now. It's now you get a little bit of mum guilt where you're like, oh, I don't really want to be away from him. But I think the balance is all right at the moment. Yeah.
Also, I'm really very proud of your partner Adam in SAS.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Do you know what was really weird about that is he filmed that about 1.5 years before it came out.
Yeah.
So and I'd just got pregnant with Leo by like weeks. It was like early stages. So we waited for that to come out for a really long time. And we look back at it now, like his hair is so long in that, and God, he lost so much weight when he came out. But I was so proud of him. He does a lot of endurance sports, would you call them, or endurance activities, you know, like done a couple of Ironmen back to back and things like that. So the guy is fit. He's fit and healthy, and massive. You know, his body can handle a lot, but I've never seen him be put under that much stress and strain.
Because he got to the interrogation stage.
I know. And I was watching it like, how come you've got 2 guys interrogating you and everyone else only has 1? But I really I was so proud watching him. It was horrible, like, to know what he was going through at the time. He was going through a lot even before he went onto SAS. And it
definitely went for a difficult time.
Yeah. He, you know what, like, we went through a really difficult time together. Obviously we had a miscarriage, and we'd never experienced it.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Like, I don't mind talking about it now. I think the thing is, like, when you do talk about it, you realize how many other women have experienced it. It's so much more common than you think. But it hit us like an absolute train. You know, it was a horrible time. But we came through it, and you know, we wouldn't have Leo if we didn't go through that. So those are the kind of ways that I think of looking at things, and obviously we had each other to deal with it as well, which was really lovely. But he went into SAS quite soon after that, not too long after that, and I think it stirred up a lot of emotions that perhaps he'd been suppressing. I think when you go through something like a miscarriage, the partner, the mate, the man, and dad is sort of expected to be quite strong, and you know, I know what I experienced, but with men I don't think they really talk about it that much, or
understand. Well, they sort of keep it bottled up.
Yeah, and men are like that, aren't they? They bottle up emotions and they don't tend to talk about it too much. So in a way, it was probably like therapy for him. I think, to go in there, and a lot of people contacted both of us afterwards, actually, that have been through far worse than what we went through. Yeah. So I was
very happy for all of you.
Say that again, Chad. Sorry.
I'm very happy for all you family.
Oh yeah. Thank you. It was it's a lot, but I think those kind of shows are designed to really strip you back. Really, like, strip you back, make you, you know, like with sleep deprivation, he experienced a lot of that as well. So those things, they all come to the surface.
So do you enjoy working for TNT Sports and ITV?
Yeah.
Is it a good perk of the job, traveling to different places, including when you do your Champions League coverage?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, going to like the Bernabeu, for example, and places like that. oh my God, like sometimes you experience things and you're like, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm doing this game. Like I've done 2 Champions League finals now. And I think like,
Yeah.
I think back to when I was a runner at Sky
Yeah.
and I had all these kind of dreams. And I'm like, Jesus, I don't even think a dream of mine was to present the Champions League final because I just
And you
didn't.
achieved it.
Yeah, I know, but I almost, I don't think I ever thought I would, if you know what I mean. Like I just, it's weird when you get into telly because like I don't know that I did it necessarily because I wanted to be in front of a camera. It was probably more because it was like I didn't think I could do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense. It does make sense in my own head. It's like challenging yourself, you know, like how can you get somewhere? And when people tell you that you can't or you're not good enough, I think it was a bit like a red rag to a bull with me. But if you'd have said to me, I present the Champions League final or a World Cup, you know, I get to go to a World Cup and present at a World Cup. God, like I would never have even believed you. So
It was
yeah,
in PSG.
say that again.
The PSG final.
Yeah, that was amazing. Oh
It's
my God.
Juventus, that was it, yeah.
Yeah, that was a really special one. And then what was the other one I did? The one the year before was it Dortmund? Was it Dortmund Real Madrid?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that mad? Like my baby brain, I just can't remember anymore. But I've done 2 of them, yeah, and they were brilliant. And working for TNT is great, and ITV, like they're very good companies to work for. They're very they look after me, which I think
And
is
also,
always
you got a great team, because the likes of like Rio Ferdinand.
yeah.
Also, you got Ali McCoy. Presenting the culture team.
Yeah.
You're like a good team, like altogether, really.
Oh, thank you. I love them. They're great. If you work with your mates, like it doesn't really feel like work, and it doesn't feel like work because it's football. But then you get to hang around with your mates and travel around with them. And Ali is the best tourist. Like, oh, just as you'd imagine.
Another passionate he is.
He loves football more than anyone else in the world that I know. I'm not even joking.
He's commentating on his commentary, I do.
Ali will work probably for free. Honestly, if you said to Ali, look, we want you to come and do like an FA Cup first round game, Sheffield United against Plymouth or someone like that, and they went, we can't pay you, he'd go, I'll probably just do it. He's that kind of guy.
And also, Laura, hopefully, Aston Villa get back in the Champions League. You can do some presenting at Villa Park again.
I know. I'm not just saying this because this is a Villa podcast, but I love Villa Park.
Thank you.
There's a couple of guys, right, that sit. There's a young lad who I always see with his dad, who's just adorable.
Yeah.
And there's a group of guys as well that I kept seeing every time I went to Villa Park, and I saw them at Cheltenham as well. And I just bump into him every time I'm there, and I just love it. I have a special sort of a special affinity, I think, with Villa Park. I've always enjoyed going there, and I usually get a good game as well.
Do you know what I think? I think the Villa Park, it's a traditional stadium.
Yeah.
And the Villa fans are excellent. You always get an incredible atmosphere.
You do, and trust me, you'll know this, going to different grounds. It's not always like that. So that's probably part of why I really enjoy it. It's just special. There's something very cool about it, isn't there?
Because I went to a few Champions League games as a Villa fan at Villa Park last season.
Yeah.
I've had some memories, including the Bayern Munich game and PSG game.
I know. Oh my God. They were just brilliant, weren't they? We were sat as well. Like when you go to Villa Park, when you watch the game, you sit above the away fans. And like, oh my God, you feel everything. I think because it's an old stadium and it's so full of history, you feel everything, especially when you're literally sitting above the away fans as well. And they're like banging on the studio walls and things like that and underneath. But yeah, I do love it there.
2 more questions before we finish.
No worries.
So after doing interviews, do you tell yourself you could have done better.
Every single interview, I'm pretty sure I will go, I forgot to ask something, or I'll go, why did I ask that? I remember when I was a reporter, it happened more often than not when I was a reporter. Like, I remember interviewing like David Moyes, and
Yeah.
you'd think so hard about all of your questions that sometimes you wouldn't think about the first one. And I say you, like everybody does this, it's probably just a me thing. And then I'd always find myself asking a ridiculous first question. And I'd be like, why? What are you even saying? Like, why did you even ask that? And then you'd spend the rest of the interview trying to get it back and or warming yourself up or something like that. There's nothing more terrifying than interviewing
What it
managers.
is, there's always room for improvement, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And the minute you think there's no room for improvement, you're in trouble, because there is. I totally agree with you with that. That no one is ever at the top level, I don't think. And because even if you do get there, like, you don't know what your ceiling is. Like, you don't know if you could be better. And what I know I should be doing, I should be watching these interviews back a lot more. But I can't stand it. I can't stand watching myself back. I
But
hate
what
my
it is,
voice.
I think,
I hate. And
you
I think
shouldn't be too hard on yourself.
I know, and I know I do that a lot, but if I wasn't hard on myself, I would slip.
Yes,
So there's kind of pros and cons to being
it's a
quite
good
self.
point.
Yeah, but I do always and I know what you're saying, and that's very nice of you to say that. But trust me, Chad, like, sometimes there are days where I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
some days I can't talk properly.
Well, I've gone to the last question.
Mhm.
Let's talk about Aston Villa, Unai Emery. So,
Yeah.
what is your opinion of Aston Villa's success at Unai Emery? And what is your prediction for them this season?
Ooh, it's a weird season, isn't it? With like where the table is at the moment, apart from Arsenal, of course.
Yes,
But like Sunderland doing well, and like
all do
Bournemouth.
really well, yeah.
Funny, isn't it? I almost feel like with you guys, it's like you kind of have a really good season and then a season off a little bit and then a better
Yes.
season. Do you know what I mean? You kind of go back and forth a little bit. It's like,
Consistency.
yeah, like you'll sell a couple of good players and then you'll recover a bit, or then you'll make some good signings and you have a good one. I really like Unai Emery, and that's coming from an Arsenal fan. And I thought he got a lot of really unnecessary stick when he was at Arsenal. And I kind of think that job at the time was maybe a little bit of a hospital pass, whoever took it, because you're coming in after Wenger, and there was so much stuff that needed to be sorted out. Like, Wenger made some terrible signings towards the end of his tenure, and just because he's like, I wasn't a kind of staunch like Wenger out or anything like that, but I thought he made some terrible signings. But I thought Unai made some terrible signings as well. And it's not always the manager, you know. They kind of they deal with the hand that they're dealt. So it didn't work with Arsenal and Unai, and now things are pretty good with Arteta. But I think when he went to Villa, it was just a perfect fit straight away, and I like how
I think in short space of time, he transformed the football club. Not just that, but he changed the mindset, and it's not easy to do that. There's still more to come from Emery, I think.
I think he built so much resilience, and whatever the fact as well that he didn't even know English when he joined Arsenal. Like, he was learning it. And now he's like, and to manage, people don't realize, like, I don't speak any other languages, but I've spoken to managers before, and they're like, God, it's so hard to communicate when you've got a team who all speak different languages, not even just one of you. You know, you're communicating with players from all over the country, all over the world in different languages, and you've got to find a way to translate with all of them. So management is not, it was never a job I would ever want to do, because I think it's a thankless task. I just think, God, how difficult. But I love what he's doing with you guys, and I think he's an excellent fit. As for where you're going to finish, I don't know that you're going to get top 4 this season. I don't think you will. Sorry. Sorry not to be negative.
I personally think Yes, I'm in a good place before the international break. Yes, we're in the top 6.
Yeah.
But the
And I
only
right.
what worries me, only what gets me, also he's been low on confidence. So I feel like he's on it steps up as well.
And he's just
But, I
been
mean, I want to see it dinner, I think.
mm,
I want to see us win a trophy.
I know, wouldn't that be great? But you must be
That's what I
encouraged,
want.
like Newcastle winning the Carabao Cup. Who else won a cup this year? Crystal Palace winning the FA Cup. You must be
That's
encouraged
it, Crystal Palace.
by that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I think you'll get a cup under Unai Emery. How's that for a prediction?
Oh yeah, I like that prediction. I'll go with that. Can you? Emery and John McGinn lifted the Europa League.
Oh, I know. Wouldn't that be amazing? I love John McGinn.
He's my favourite player.
He's so cool, isn't he? He's such a nice guy as well. Yeah. All right. I'm going for
Well,
that.
you didn't say Laura. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh.
Such a great interview.
I really enjoyed it. You're a great interviewer. So thank you. I really had a nice time. Thank you.
And also, Laura, can you spread the word about my podcast?
Of course I will. Of course I will. Are you going to be putting this on like Twitter?
X. Yeah, I'll share it. Yeah.
I'm so old school on Twitter. I got hammered for saying that the other day. X. If you put it on
Thank
X.
you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you.
If you've enjoyed this podcast, please remember to make sure to subscribe. Make sure to smash the like button on this video. Make sure to give it a share on your socials. Also, if you're listening to the audio, make sure to leave us a good review. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much, Laura, for your time.
Thank you, Chad. Take care.
I'm going to wrap up this episode with Villa Forever. As always, and up the Villa.